Hi, I'm Jake Thompson. I'm just your average 32-year-old guy, working in real estate in small-town Texas. It's honest work, like my dad always taught me before he passed away. Speaking of dad, he left me and my sister, Sarah, a big piece of land to share. That land means the world to me. It's like having a piece of him still with us, you know? Sarah is married to a guy named Mark. Let me tell you, Mark always has these half-baked, get-rich-quick ideas, and he's got a temper, too. They've been bugging me to sell my half of the land. They see dollar signs, but I see memories. Jake, think about the potential, Sarah would say, all excited, but I'd just shake my head. Sis, this land is our heritage. It's not for sale. Then Mark would jump in. You're holding us back. Jake, don't you want your sister to be happy? Happy? More like broke, once Mark's latest scheme fails. Thank goodness for my girlfriend, Emma. She's a school teacher and probably the most patient person alive for dealing with all this family drama. Jake, you're doing the right thing, she'd say, squeezing my hand. Your dad would be proud. My best friend Tom, the town sheriff, has my back too. We go way back. Jake, if Mark causes any trouble, you let me know, he'd say in his serious sheriff voice. But the real troublemaker is Mark's mom, Linda. She could start a fight in an empty room. Jake, dear, she'd say in her fake sweet voice, why are you being so difficult? Don't you want what's best for the family? Every time she says family, I want to remind her that blood doesn't mean anything when you're trying to cheat your own kin. Things have been tense lately. Mark's been acting weird, like a ticking time bomb. I've caught him glaring at me from across the street, muttering under his breath. It's starting to creep me out. Just when I thought things couldn't get any crazier, my phone rings at 2 a.m. It's Sarah, and she sounds terrified. Jake, she whispers, her voice shaking. I need to see you now, it's urgent. My stomach drops. What the heck is going on? I know it's not going to be good. I rush to meet Sarah at Mabel's diner, where we usually catch up. The place is almost empty at this hour. Just old Joe sitting at the counter with his coffee. Sarah's already there, hunched over a cup of coffee, her eyes red and puffy. Sarah, what's going on? I ask. I slide into the booth across from Sarah. She looks up, and that's when I notice a fading bruise near her eye. My heart sinks. Jake, I don't know what to do anymore, she chokes out. Mark, he hit me. It's not the first time. I clench my fists under the table. Jesus, Sarah, you need to leave him, now. She shakes her head frantically. I can't. He says he'll change if we just had the money from the land sale. Please, Jake. Sell your share, it'll fix everything. Selling the land won't fix anything, I say. Mark's the problem, not money. You don't understand, she hisses. He's got debts, bad ones. If we don't pay. I lean forward. Then let me help you. We'll go to Tom, get a restraining order. No, she cuts me off. No cops, just think about it, okay? I leave the diner with a heavy heart, her plea echoing in my mind. A few days later, I'm out on the land fixing a broken fence when I hear the sound of tires on gravel. I turn to see Mark's truck, swerving as it comes to a stop. He stumbles out, reeking of booze, holding a shovel. Well, if it ain't the stubborn mule himself, he slurs. Mark, you're drunk, go home. He staggers closer. Not without that land, Jakey boy. It's not for sale, Mark, not now, not ever. His face twists with rage. You selfish prick. You're ruining everything. I hold up my hands. Mark, calm down. Let's talk about this when you're sober. Talk? I'm done talking. He swings the shovel. I try to dodge, but I'm too slow. Pain explodes in my head, and I hit the ground hard, my vision blurring. Mark is shouting, but I can't make out the words. Another blow lands, then another, and everything goes dark. I drift in and out of consciousness. Sirens, voices, Emma's tear-streaked face. Tom's gruff orders to the paramedics, the sterile smell of a hospital. When I finally wake up properly, I'm in a hospital bed. Everything hurts. Emma is asleep in a chair beside me, holding my hand. My voice is barely a whisper. She jolts awake. Jake, oh thank God. She peppers my face with gentle kisses. Tom appears in the doorway, his face grim. Good to see you awake, buddy. How are you feeling? Like I got hit by a truck. What happened? Tom's jaw clenches. Mark, we found his truck near the scene. He's in custody. The memories flood back. Sarah, the land, Mark with the shovel. Jake, Emma says softly, what do you want to do? I close my eyes, feeling the weight of family ties and the need for justice fighting inside me. I don't know yet, but something's got to change. The hospital becomes my world for the next few weeks. Visitors come and go, but whispers follow them everywhere. Everyone's talking about Mark's attack, like I'm the star of some twisted reality show I never signed up for. One day, Sarah shows up, looking like she hasn't slept in weeks. "Jake, I'm so sorry," Sarah sobs. "I should have told you everything sooner." "Told me what?" I ask. She spills it all: Mark's abuse, his gambling debts, and the shady development deal he's been bragging about. "He swore if we got your land, all our problems would be solved." I scoff. "Yeah, his problems maybe." Just then, my phone buzzes. Another message from Mark: "Keep your mouth shut if you know what's good for you." I show Sarah, and her face goes pale. "Oh God, Jake, what have I done?" she whispers. Emma walks in, catching the tail end of our conversation. "Jake, you need to tell Tom about these threats." I nod. "Yeah, I think you're right, but it's not just Mark we have to worry about. His mom, Linda, is on a one-woman mission to rewrite history." As the nurse checks my vitals, she gossips. "Did you hear? Linda's telling everyone you attacked Mark first, said he was just defending himself." I clench my fists, wincing in pain. "That's bull." "I know, honey," the nurse says, patting my arm. "Nobody's buying it." When I'm finally released from the hospital, the whole town is buzzing about a public meeting concerning the land development. Emma drives me there, her hand steady on my arm as we walk in. The place is packed. I spot Mark near the front, looking all apologetic. Linda is beside him, glaring at me. Mayor Johnson calls the meeting to order. "We're here to discuss the proposed development of the Thompson land." Mark stands up, looking like a kicked puppy. "Before we start, I'd like to say something." He turns to me. "Jake, I'm so sorry for what happened. I was out of my mind with stress. Can you ever forgive me?" The room goes silent. I can feel everyone's eyes on me. "Mark," I say, keeping my voice steady, "I appreciate the apology, but it doesn't change anything. The land's not for sale." Mark's face twitches. "But Jake, think of the opportunities. This development could put our town on the map." I stand up, ignoring the pain. "Our dad left us that land to preserve, not to turn into some half-baked resort." Linda jumps in. "Now, Jake, don't be hasty. Mark's changed. He's got big plans." "Big plans?" I cut her off. "Like the big plans that left him in debt? Or the big plans that ended with him attacking me with a shovel?" The room erupts in murmurs. Mayor Johnson bangs his gavel. "Order, please." I take a deep breath. "Look, I'm not here to air dirty laundry. I'm here to say this: that land stays in the family, undeveloped. End of story." As I sit down, I catch Sarah's eye across the room. She gives me a small nod, a glimmer of the sister I used to know. But as we file out of the hall, I can still feel the tension hanging in the air. I can't shake the feeling that this isn't over. Mark's watching me, his eyes cold. This isn't the end, it's just the beginning of a whole new battle. The phone rings, jolting me awake. It's Mabel from the county clerk's office. Her voice is shaking. "Jake, you need to get down here now. Someone's trying to push through a sale on your land." The signature looks fishy. My stomach drops. I know exactly who's behind this. At the office, Mabel shows me the documents. There's my signature, clear as day, but it's not mine. "That son of a," I start, but Mabel cuts me off. "What are you going to do?" I take a deep breath. "I've got an idea, but I'll need some help." I call Tom, laying out my plan. He's hesitant at first, but agrees it might be our best shot. Then I dial Mark's number. Well, if it ain't the holdout," Mark drawls. "Listen, Mark, I've been thinking. Maybe we should talk about this land deal face to face." There's a pause. "About damn time. Meet me at the old barn on the property." 1 hour. I get there early, wired up with Tom's help. My heart's pounding so hard I'm afraid the mic might pick it up. Mark swaggers in, all cocky smiles. "So, you finally came to your senses, huh?" I force a smile. Yeah, well, times are tough. But before we do this, I've got to know, why'd you do it, Mark? The attack? The forged documents? He laughs, a cold, harsh sound. Why? Because you were in my way, Jake. This development deal is my ticket out of this backwater town, and I wasn't about to let you and your sentimental crap stop me, even if it meant nearly killing me? I ask. He sneers. You should have seen your face when I swung that shovel. Thought that might knock some sense into you. And if this little chat doesn't work out, well, accidents happen, Jake. Especially out here, all alone. That's when Tom steps out from behind the barn door, his badge glinting in the sunlight. That's enough, Mark. You're under arrest. Mark's face goes from shock to rage in seconds. He lunges at me, but Tom's quicker, tackling him to the ground. As Tom cuffs him, I feel a mix of relief and sadness. This is family after all, or at least, it was. The arrest sends shockwaves through town. Turns out Mark's big development deal was all smoke and mirrors. His investors pull out faster than you can say fraud. A few days later, Sarah shows up at my door, her eyes red and rimmed with tears. Jake, I don't even know where to start. I'm so sorry for everything. I sigh, leaning against the doorframe. I know, Sarah. But sorry doesn't fix this. She nods, tears spilling over. I hope someday we can be brother and sister again. Someday, I agree. But not today. Linda tries to run damage control, showing up at the sheriff's office and claiming Mark was set up. But Tom shuts that down quick. Ma'am, we have him on tape confessing. It's over. As for the land, I knew what I had to do. At the next town meeting, I stood up, my voice steady. I want to turn the Thompson land into a community park, a place for families, for memories, in honor of my father. The room erupted in cheers. Emma squeezed my hand, her eyes shining with pride. Months passed, and the park project was in full swing. My real estate business was booming. Turns out, people appreciate honesty. Who knew? One evening, I took Emma for a walk through the half-finished park. We stopped by the old oak tree, the one Dad and I used to climb. Emma, I said, my heart racing. I couldn't have gotten through any of this without you. I dropped to one knee, pulling out the ring I'd been carrying for weeks. Will you marry me? Her eyes went wide, then crinkled with joy. Yes, 1,000 times yes. As we walked back, hand in hand, I reflected on everything that had happened. Mark was in prison, facing years for assault and fraud. Linda had become a pariah, her manipulative ways finally catching up to her. And Sarah, we were talking again, slowly rebuilding what was broken. But standing here with Emma by my side and the park stretching out before us, I felt nothing but hope. This land, this legacy, it's more than just acres and trees. It's a promise. A promise to live with honesty and to stand up for what's right, no matter the cost. Alright, folks, that's the end of my story. Now I've got a question for you. If you were in my shoes, would you ever forgive Sarah and try to rebuild your relationship with her? Or is some betrayal just too deep to come back from? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'm really curious to hear what you'd do in this situation. And hey, if you enjoyed this wild ride, why not hit that like button? It really helps out the channel. Oh, and if you want to hear more stories like this, go ahead and smash that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Thanks for listening, y'all. Until next time.